Bigfoot Cooking.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Bigfoot Cooking, where today we are making kimchi. Never heard of it? Oh, you are missing out on something that's a true Asian delicacy. Maybe not from around here, but definitely an Asian delicacy. Now you may wonder, why kimchi? Why today? Well, there's a Publix commercial. And in case you don't know what Publix is, in case you ain't from around here, it's a grocery store in America. I don't know if it's out west, but it's definitely here in the South. And on that commercial, it's one where they have a little song in the background. You know, everybody eats when they come to my house. I'll put a link to it in case you hadn't seen it. Anyway, there's a scene in there where one of the girls is actually trying kimchi, and she's got this real, I don't know, look on her face. But of course, you know, you watch the commercial, they try it, and they're like, oh, this is really good food. Well, I have the recipe for the kimchi they serve. This is it. That's all there is. We've got 1 head of Napa cabbage. Now, this is actually a smaller head. Availability wise, I don't know if it's the wrong time of year for it. It's not that big. It really needs to be about 2.5 pounds. This one's about 1.5. We're gonna make do. So we got 1.5 pounds of Napa cabbage. I've got about 1/2 inch of ginger, or a knob, or a finger, or whatever you want to call it. But I got a big hunk of ginger here. I got 1 clove of garlic. I grabbed a bunch of green onions. We're going to use the stems off of those. We've got 2 cups of cold water, 1/3 cup of coarse salt. You want this instead of the iodized, sea salt, kosher salt, whatever works for you. We've got 3 tablespoons of roasted chili paste. Ooh, that has got some heat in there, hence the little nuclear sign, so be careful on that. We've got 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame oil, a teaspoon of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 cups of matchstick carrots. What does that mean? Julienne fries, but in the carrot form. In this case, bought it pre-made, don't have to touch it. Makes life simple, but you can chop, slice, and do it yourself. And of course, a tablespoon of sesame seeds, just to flavor it all up. So to get this party started, we're gonna prep the cabbage, because that's what's gonna take a little bit. We gotta get some of the moisture out. So let's get to some cutting on that. Now to begin this process, we're gonna go ahead and make ourselves up some salty water. So as this gets cut, we can just drop it into it. So we'll just pour our 2 cups of cool water and our 1/3 cup of salt. Ooh, that's gonna taste bad. Don't drink the water. I guess if we were making pasta, would this be the salty as the sea aspect? But we'll give this just a little stir to break up everything, make sure all the salt is in the water, not just on the bottom. You know, probably shouldn't have chose a white bowl since I can't see the salt in the bottom of it, but the spoon's coming out clean, so I'm gonna assume we're mixed good. And then we attack our cabbage. What we're gonna do with our cabbage, we're gonna cut them into 4 long pieces. So just go right down the middle, coming this way and this. That gives us halves. Pay attention, we're doing math here. Chunk. And then we're gonna go this way. Quarters. That's how you get 4 quarters. 4 quarters make $1. Stay in school, kids. Now from here, we're gonna take this back part right here, that's the really hard, dense part. Not making good kimchi out of that. So we're actually gonna cut this part out and keep the rest of it. So we'll just set it at an angle and just kind of come right down through here. There you go, 1 solid piece of Napa cabbage. Not what we need. Let's do it to all 4 of them. You know, I'm about to find out if my chickens like cabbage or not. Don't think I've ever tried to feed it to them before. But now from here, more knife work. We're just gonna take our quarters and we're gonna slice them into about 1 inch thick slice and just go down the run of it. Not too complicated, just watch out for the fingers. You were born with them, don't lose them doing this. And then we'll just take all of these pieces and drop them into our salty water. That's it as far as prep work on the cabbage. What this is gonna do, the salty water is gonna help draw out some of the extra water that's in here. And by doing that, it's the first step in prepping your kimchi. Now, we're making, I guess you would call it a quick kimchi, because the real deal kimchi stuff is fermented. It actually will sit in a pot for a couple of days to a couple of weeks and work on what is it, lactobacillus, one of them there fancy bacterium that helps break down the cabbage and add a different flavor to it. But this is something that's like, it's an emergency cabbage. I gotta have kimchi tonight. Oh crap, I forgot to make it last week. No problem. This will do the bill. It'll fit it. It's got a good flavor to it, but you know, somebody who really enjoys the real deal kimchi, they might kind of point their finger at you, but they didn't help you cook. All right, all the kids are in the pool. What we're gonna do now is push this down, kind of every once in a while you'll mix this just to get the salt water all over all of it, make it start to sweat, and let it begin its scientific magic of osmosis. I know, big word for a cooking show, right? So while this stuff is sitting, let's go ahead and prep the rest of the ingredients for the real deal flavor, because this is gonna take roughly 30 minutes or so. If you can give it an hour, even better. But that way, 30 minutes to an hour just to help sweat out the cabbage. What is this bloke making today? What is this? Oh, it's nothing but salt. What an idiot. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. Why do you watch him? Now, as you see, we're gonna rinse this cabbage several times. We wanna try to get all the salt out of it. Rinse, stir, rinse, repeat, rinse, stir. And then pretty soon, you've got a cabbage that's ready to go. Now, once we get it back over here, if you want, you can try it, because when you bite into it, you should have barely any crunch and just the slightest hint of salt, but not that overpowering. Spot on. Now from here, we're gonna do safe mixing. That's right. We are putting on some gloves. What kind of gloves? I'm gonna wear my Hulk hands. Lime green. Why? No, because it's the glove I got. Doesn't really matter. And you don't have to do this step, but the spices in here, just straight on your hands, can be a little, well, depending on if you've got sensitive skin, it may inspire your fingers to feel uncomfortable. So we've got our cabbage that has sat there and marinated in salt water. We're gonna take our hot, and we're just gonna apply it on here. Get on in there. Everybody into the pot, right? That's the rules of the game. I will say this, it smells nice. This, the whole kimchi flavor that you get, it smells good. Punches you in the teeth, but it smells good. From here, we're gonna add in our carrot sticks. We're gonna add in our onion sprigs, things, whatever. We're gonna add the tops of the onions in here. And tell you what, we'll wait on the sesame. Let's go ahead, get our hands dirty for a minute. It's like playing with your food. Mama said not to, but oh, it's so much fun. We just wanna mix this until the kimchi sauce, the flavor, gets on everything. You don't wanna leave nothing behind, because we want this stuff to be delicious. Everybody's coated and everything. Let's go ahead and slide our sesame seeds in there. Ooh, gives it a little texture with the punch and the crunch, right? All right, and there you go. A little bit of kimchi. Nothing too complicated, nothing crazy. Now, if you want it hotter, if you want it with more of the reddish color that goes on it, you could use more chili paste, and that would help bring out some of the red. But again, the more red it is, the hotter it is. You have to decide what you want. For me, this right here, it's got all the flavor. I mean, look at here, just that soaking in the salt. The cabbage has wilted in. You know, it's still slightly firm, a little bit of crunch, but it's not like you're trying to gnaw through a 2x4. And I got to play with my food today. It's a good day. I mean, what more could you want? Unless you wanted this really cool t-shirt. I mean, I like it. It's not often you see Bigfoot painting Van Gogh, but I guess it's possible. Somebody put it on a shirt, so it must be true. I'll even leave a link below where you can pick one up if you want to be as cool as me. It could happen. I mean, you know, it could happen. So for now, I tell you what, let's plate this up before I say my goodbyes, because I want this to look pretty, you know? I mean, I'm sure it tastes good. You know, really good. Maybe even delicious. And that's it. A quick kimchi for all your kimchi needs. I mean, I'm not sure what true burning desire for kimchi you have, but this is just something you can quickly throw together to get the flavors, to build on it. Now, again, if you want to take this further, you can lacto ferment it, and then that gives you a whole nother dimension to it. So while you guys are contemplating on what to eat with it, I'm going to contemplate on how to eat it. Just remember, Bigfoot is real. While you guys are contemplating how to eat it, or while you guys are contemplating, okay, there we go. So while you guys are contemplating what to eat with it, I'm gonna contemplate